I watched my financial advisor's daughter post an Instagram story of her new Tesla, bright red Model X, 7-seat luxury SUV. The caption said, "Blessed with a bunch of prayer hands emojis." The Tesla had custom plates. They said "Boss Babe," and I knew. I knew exactly where my $180,000 inheritance went. It didn't go into a promising startup with revolutionary jewelry technology. It went into a multi-level marketing pyramid scheme run by a 24-year-old who spelled entrepreneur with 3 different autocorrect attempts. Okay, let me back up. My name's Vanessa. I'm 32. I work in HR for a pharmaceutical company, which means I spend 40 hours a week explaining to grown adults why they can't expense their family vacation as a team building retreat. It's boring. It's stable. Pays $78,000 a year, which in Seattle means I can afford a studio apartment and occasionally buy name brand cereal. My grandmother died 14 months ago. Her name was Patricia. She was 86. She raised me after my parents died in a car accident when I was 7. She was a librarian. She lived modestly, clipped coupons, drove the same Buick for 23 years, knitted her own scarves. You'd never know she had money, but she did. She'd been investing since the 1960s. Small amounts, consistent contributions, compound interest over 50 years. When she died, her estate was worth $412,000. She left half to charity, half to me, $206,000. I'd never had money like that. Never even conceptualized having that much in one place with my name on it. My first instinct was to pay off my student loans, $31,000. Then pay off my car, $14,000. Put the rest in savings and pretend it didn't exist until I figured out what responsible people do with inheritance money. But everyone I told had opinions. My coworker said invest in real estate. My cousin said start a business. My aunt said travel the world before I'm too old. Everyone had advice. It was overwhelming. Then my mom's old friend Janet reached out. I hadn't seen Janet in probably 8 years. She came to my grandmother's funeral, gave me a hug, slipped me her business card. "When you're ready to talk about Patricia's estate, call me. I can help." Janet was a financial advisor, had been for 25 years. She worked for a firm called Prosperity Partners, had all certifications, CFP, CFA, CFA. A bunch of letters that seemed important. She'd helped my grandmother with some investments years ago. My grandmother trusted her. I called her 6 weeks after the inheritance cleared. We met at a coffee shop in Bellevue. Janet showed up in a nice suit, carried a leather portfolio. She had this warm, motherly energy. She was probably 60. Gray hair and a professional bob, minimal jewelry, sensible shoes. "Vanessa, sweetie, I'm so sorry about Patricia. She was an amazing woman, thank you. So, 206,000, that's a beautiful foundation. Let's talk about making it work for you." We talked for an hour. She asked about my goals, my timeline, my risk tolerance. I told her I wanted security. I wasn't trying to get rich. I just wanted to know this money would be there if I needed it. Maybe grow a little, maybe retire slightly early. Conservative growth? I love it. Smart? She opened her portfolio, showed me charts, projections. "Here's what I'm thinking. We do a diversified portfolio, 70% index funds, 20% bonds, 10% alternative investments." What's alternative investments? Higher risk, higher reward, startups, private equity, emerging markets. It's how you get real growth. But we keep it to 10% so you're protected. It sounded reasonable, conservative, but not too conservative. I told her I'd think about it. Of course. No pressure. But Vanessa, can I be honest with you? As someone who cared about your grandmother? Yeah. You're young, you're smart. You have time on your side, but time only works if you use it. Money sitting in a savings account making 0.5% interest is money that's dying. Inflation's eating it. You're losing purchasing power every year. Patricia didn't build her wealth by playing it safe. She built it by making smart, informed investments over time. Let me help you do the same. She sounded like my grandmother. That same practical, no-nonsense tone, it felt right. I signed the paperwork 2 weeks later, transferred $180,000 to her management, kept $26,000 in my personal savings for the loan payoffs and emergency fund. Janet sent me quarterly reports. Everything looked good. The index funds were growing steadily. Bonds were stable. And the alternative investment, a startup called LuxeLink Technologies, was projecting 18% annual returns. "What does LuxeLink do?" I asked during one of our check-ins. "They're revolutionizing the direct-to-consumer jewelry space, cutting out middlemen, using proprietary technology to reduce costs and increase quality." It's very exciting. They're pre-IPO right now, but we got in on the ground floor. How much of my portfolio is in LuxeLink? 10%, 18,000. Exactly what we agreed. 18,000 in a jewelry startup. Boo. It felt like a lot, but Janet said that's how wealth is built. Calculated risks, I trusted her. That was March. By July, my portfolio had grown to 192,000. 12,000 in gains. I was thrilled. Janet sent an email. See? This is the power of smart investing. Imagine where you'll be in 10 years. Then August happened. I was scrolling Instagram, mindless procrastination during my lunch break. I followed maybe 200 people. Friends, former coworkers, a few influencers I hate watched. And somehow the algorithm showed me a suggested post. It was a girl I didn't know. Her name was Janet Chapman, 24 years old according to her bio. The post was a photo of her standing in front of a bright red Tesla Model X. She was holding keys. Big smile. The caption, "When you work hard and stay blessed, dreams really do come true. Building my empire one day at a time? Ask me how you can do this too." LuxeLink. The name jumped out. That was my investment, the jewelry startup. I clicked on her profile. It was exactly what you'd expect. Motivational quotes over sunset photos, pictures of jewelry. Lots of pictures of jewelry. Necklaces, bracelets, rings. Every post had paragraphs of captions about financial freedom and being your own boss and not settling for a 9 to 5. I scrolled further. Found a post from 6 months ago. Photo of her holding a sign. Just hit diamond level. Thank you to my amazing team and my mentor, Janet Chapman, for believing in me. Janet Chapman. My financial advisor, Janet? I went back to Kaylee's bio. It said daughter. Believer, CEO of my own destiny. DM me to join my LuxeLink team. I Googled LuxeLink, not LuxeLink Technologies, just LuxeLink. Technologies, just LuxeLink. It was a multi-level marketing company, direct sales jewelry. You buy a starter kit, sell jewelry to friends and family. Recruit other people to sell under you. Earn commission on their sales. Classic pyramid structure with a jewelry coat of paint. I felt my stomach drop. I Googled LuxeLink Technologies. Nothing, no company, no website, no LinkedIn, no record of any startup with that name. I called Janet. Straight to voicemail. I texted her. No response. I emailed her. Automated out of office reply. I drove to her office, Prosperity Partners. It was in a business park in Bellevue. Small office. Shared building with a dentist and an insurance agency. I walked in. The receptionist looked up. "I'm here to see Janet Chapman. Do you have an appointment?" "No, but I'm a client." "It's urgent. Let me check if she's available." She picked up the phone, spoke quietly. Not loud, just quiet tears. My grandmother's money, 50 years of her careful saving, and I'd handed it to a woman who funneled it into her daughter's pyramid scheme. I thought about giving up, taking the loss, moving on. But then I saw another Instagram post from Kaylee. She was at a LuxeLink conference, big arena, thousands of people. She was on stage. The caption, "Speaking to my team about hitting our goals, so grateful for the investors who believed in the LuxeLink vision." Investors, plural. I wasn't the only one. I started digging. Found a Facebook group for LuxeLink distributors, joined with a fake account, started reading. People were complaining. They'd invested thousands in inventory that wouldn't sell. They'd recruited friends who now hated them. They'd been promised cars and trips and financial freedom and got dead instead. One post caught my eye, a woman named Melissa. She said her financial advisor had convinced her to invest her divorce settlement into LuxeLink. $50,000. The advisor's name was Janet Chapman. I messaged Melissa, we talked. She'd had almost the exact same experience. Janet pitched it as a startup, used all the same language. Melissa found out it was an MLM 6 months later, lost $30,000 to early withdrawal penalties. "There's others," Melissa said. I found 3 more people Janet recruited. We've been comparing notes. We should report her. To who? Good question. I started researching. Found out financial advisors are regulated by FINRA, Financial Industry Regulatory Authority. They handle misconduct complaints. I filed a report. Detailed everything, sent all my documentation. I also reported Janet to the SA, Securities and Exchange Commission. If she was selling investments in an MLM and calling it a tech startup, that might be securities fraud. Then I found out Washington State has a Department of Financial Institutions. They regulate financial advisors at the state level. I filed a complaint there too. I reported her to her firm, Prosperity Partners, sent them a detailed letter, explained the situation, included evidence. Then I did something possibly stupid. I contacted a local news reporter. a woman who did consumer protection segments. Don't get burned, they called it. I sent her my story. She was interested, very interested. She interviewed me, interviewed Melissa, found 2 more victims. All of us had invested with Janet. All of us ended up in LuxeLink. Total losses over $200,000 combined. The news segment aired 3 weeks later, 8 minutes on the evening news. They showed Janet's photo, showed Kaylee's Instagram, showed the contracts, interviewed victims. The headline: Financial advisor funneling client money into daughter's MLM. It went viral locally. The next day, Prosperity Partners released a statement. We are aware of the allegations against Janet Chapman. We take these matters seriously. Ms. Chapman has been placed on administrative leave pending investigation. 2 days later, FINRA announced they were investigating. A week later, the EACC's opened a formal inquiry. Janet called me. First time I'd heard from her since I walked out of her office. You're destroying my career. You stole my inheritance. I didn't steal anything. You invested. Investments have risks. You knew that. You lied about what I was investing in. I gave you opportunities your grandmother would have wanted you to have. Don't you dare talk about my grandmother. She trusted me. And I trusted you. And you funneled my money to your daughter's pyramid scheme so she could buy a Tesla. Kaylee earned that Tesla. With my money, with her hard work. I laughed. Couldn't help it. You actually believe that? You actually think she earned it. She built a team. She built a team. She hit her goals. She recruited people into a scheme. That's not earning. That's exploiting. Janet Chapman. 3 months later, FINRA suspended her license. Ending the investigation, she couldn't practice as a financial advisor. Prosperity Partners fired her. The second investigation took longer, 8 months. But they found what I suspected. Janet had been investing client money into LuxeLink and misrepresenting it as a legitimate startup. She'd funneled over $400,000 from various clients into the MLM. Much of it went to Kaylee's downline. The SEC charged her with securities fraud. She settled. Didn't admit wrongdoing, but agreed to never work as a financial advisor again. Paid a $50,000 fine. Agreed to a restitution fund for victims. The restitution fund had $200,000 in it, split between 7 victims. I got $31,000 back. Not the full amount I lost, but something. Kaylee's LuxeLink empire collapsed. The company itself got sued by the FTC for being a pyramid scheme. They settled, had to change their compensation structure. Most other distributors quit. Kaylee's team dissolved. She had to sell the Tesla, posted about it on Instagram, called it a season of growth and learning. Lots of vague inspirational language about setbacks being setups for comebacks. I commented on the post. How much of my inheritance paid for that Tesla? She deleted the comment, blocked me, and deleted her entire Instagram account. Janet moved out of state. I heard from Melissa she's working at a call center in Arizona. No longer in finance, no longer giving advice, just reading scripts for $8 an hour. I still have $147,000 of my original inheritance. I invested it myself. Index funds, boring, safe. I use Vanguard. No personal advisor. I don't trust them anymore. I think about my grandmother sometimes, about how careful she was, how intentional. She spent 50 years building that money, and I lost a chunk of it in less than a year because I trusted the wrong person. I also think about what she would have done. She wouldn't have given up. She wouldn't have just accepted the loss. She would have fought. She did fight. She fought her whole life for financial security. So I fought too. I didn't get all my money back. But I got some. I got Janet's license revoked, and I prevented her from doing this to anyone else. That's worth something. This is a Pulse Stories original. If you've ever lost money to a financial advisor who had conflicts of interest, drop a comment. If you've ever been pressured into an MLM by someone you trusted, you know exactly how this feels. And if someone's pitching you a ground floor opportunity in a startup, Google it. Really Google it. Subscribe for more stories of people who fought back against financial predators. Because sometimes the most dangerous person isn't a stranger. It's the professional with credentials and a nice smile who calls your dead grandmother by her first name and talks about smart, informed investments. Janet had 25 years in the industry, certifications, a reputable firm, client testimonials, and she still funneled money into her daughter's pyramid scheme. Credentials don't equal integrity. Trust has to be verified. I verify everything now, every investment, every advisor, every opportunity. I read the fine print. I Google the company. I check reviews. I assume everyone's lying until proven otherwise. It's exhausting. It's cynical. But I still have money left because of it. Kaylee posted one more thing before she deleted her account. A story screenshot from someone else's post. It was a quote. People who don't support your dreams are just jealous of your success. Yeah, I'm so jealous of your fraud-funded Tesla, Kaylee. So jealous of your pyramid scheme that collapsed. So jealous of your mom losing her career. You got me. The last time I saw anything related to LuxeLink was 6 months ago. A news article. The FTC fine. The company restructuring. Most of the top distributors had quit. Ones who had made money early, people like Kaylee, they got out before it collapsed, took their earnings, moved on to the next scheme. The people at the bottom lost everything. Their investments, their friendships, their dignity. That's how pyramids work. People at the top take from the people at the bottom, and people like Janet enable it. Call it investing, call it opportunity, call it anything except what it is, theft. My grandmother didn't die so her money could buy a Boss Babe license plate. She died so I could have security. Stability. Options, I have those now. Not as much as I should, but enough. And Janet has nothing. No license, no career, no reputation. Kaylee has nothing. No team, no Tesla, no Instagram followers who believed her nonsense. And me? I have $147,000, a portfolio, I understand. The knowledge that I fought back, my grandmother would be proud of the fighting, disappointed about the initial trust, but proud of the fight. I'm proud too, not of losing the money, but of getting some back, of stopping Janet, of warning others. That's all you can do sometimes. Fight? Warn? Survive. I survived. Janet's career didn't, and somewhere in Arizona, she's reading call center scripts about extended car warranties and probably still thinking she did nothing wrong. But her FINRA record is public, permanent. Anyone who Googles her name sees it. Suspended license, sex settlement. Talk? Securities fraud that follows you forever. Just like my grandmother's voice follows me. Careful, intentional, protective. I hear it every time I make a financial decision now. Is this smart, Vanessa? Or does it just sound smart? I wish I'd heard it louder when Janet was pitching LuxeLink Technologies, but I hear it now, every time, and I listen.